Research webinar series, Unlock Scientific Excellence, Navigating to Malaysia Toray Science Foundation, or in short, we call it MTSF. Okay, and then we are very honored here. We have Dr. Kavirajaa. You have a mouthful name, Dr. Kavi. Dr. Kavirajaa Pandian, anak lelaki Sambasevam. Betul ke nama Dr. Kavi?
Ya, betul Doktor.
Ya, in short, I panggil Dr. Kavi lah. Okay,
Yeah.
for the rest day, Dr. Kavi is one of the penerima grant Malaysia Toray Science Foundation pada tahun 2024. That's why kita panggil Dr. Kavi to share his knowledge macam mana dia apply Malaysia Toray Science Foundation, or in short we call it MTSF. Okay, let me introduce Dr. Kari to the audience first. Associate Professor Dr. Kari has a PhD in polymer chemistry from University of Mليا. That's very impressive, Dr. Kavi. And his area of expertise and interest are in the advanced material, focusing on the area of conducting polymer. Correct me if your area is wrongly pronounced here. Chitin and chitosan. Is that right, Dr. Kavi?
Boleh Doktor, correct.
Polymer composites, this is another mouthful term, polyethylene and polypyrrole. Betul ke?
Polyaniline and polypyrrole.
Okay. So we have a handful terms yang kena pronounce ni, and then he is currently an associate professor. Are you still called in the schools of chemistry and environment in Kuala Pilah?
Yes, Doctor. I'm still here. Under school of chemistry,
Yeah, because in Shah Alam, there's no more schools of something. It become faculties now.
Oh, okay.
So there is Dr. Kavi also received a lots of grant. Let me quote you about 800,000 grant, internal and nationally funded. So he is one of the potential, a very what we call a very good potential in learning from him to get grant, international and national level. And then he published a lot as well. Is one of his index, H index in Scopus is 12 with 560 citation. The Google Scholar H index is 13 with 748 citations, and H index for Web of Science is 10 with citations of 424. Someone is very good in writing as well as good in applying grant as well. So without any further ado, let us hear what Dr. Kavi is preparing for us. Okay, the floor is yours now, Dr. Kavi. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Ismarani. Let me share my slide first. Can you see my slide now? And is it moving, Doctor?
Yes, it's moving. Thank you so much.
Right. Okay. So first of all, thank you to Dr. Ismarani for the warm introduction, and also thank you to ReNeU for having me over here to just give a sharing session on the Malaysia Toray Science Foundation. So saya rasa sesi kita ni bolehlah bersantai-santai sikit juga. Okay.
Boleh. Kita campur BM English kan? We are multi-language university.
Sure. Okay. So saya rasa sesi ni mungkin adalah lebih kepada pecutan terakhir lah kot. Okay, because the due date for this MTSF funding also somewhere coming Saturday, which is on 31st of May. So I don't feel like, if you're going to start a proposal from the scratch, it might take some time. But if you already have some proposal, you can just fine tune, polish, and then you're good to submit by coming Saturday. Okay, so again, myself, Kavirajaa here from UiTM campus Kuala Pilah. Right, so the picture in the main slide here that you are seeing here is during the ceremony on the 31st prize presentation for the MTSF funding last year, which was happened, I think, in December, somewhere in December. Somewhere in December at the Intercontinental Hotel near the Cal there. And it was awarded by our Minister of Musti himself, okay, because this funding get a good support from the Musti as well. So here for today, so what I have is my slide is actually, what do you call that? It's not like very long, okay, just a very simple sharing session. And also this is, I would like to give a disclaimer, this is from my perspective, from my point of view, based on my past experiences, and also when I attend the function during the award ceremony, what are the information that I got from the panels or from the secretariat. So based on that, I've prepared these slides. So for today, what I'm going to share with all of you, the participants who are on the online now, something about this general introduction on the MTSF funding and the proposal format, and some past recipient, and also some tips on how you can do this analysis, and also my personal previous experience in the MTSF application and the award, and finally some acknowledgement. Okay, so very simple format here. Right. So for those who are applying for the first time, or someone who always try to apply for a few types of MTSF funding, because MTSF, Malaysia Toray Science Foundation, under this MTSF, we actually have 3 categories here. Okay, the very common one that we apply is Science and Technology Research Grant, STRG. In fact, my talk for today is based on this STRG funding. But on top of that, you also have another type of category, which is Science and Technology Award. So usually they will dedicate 2 awards for this, where the recipient will receive about 30,000 each. So participants, you also can go through the website. Maybe later I'll show you the website. So kita boleh sama-sama tengok juga kan, like how it looks like and so on. If let's say I've never heard about this, okay. During my time, which is 2024. There were only 1 recipient, but previous years, I don't know why, but then in the previous years, usually there were 2 recipients who will be getting this. But usually, like, someone who are prominent and has been in this field of science and technology for some years, and they have made some prominent contribution towards the field, usually can apply, and there are higher chances for them to get this funding. And I'm not sure if there is any age limit for the STA, which is a Science and Technology Award. But then for the STRG, we have an age limit. Later, I will share about this as well. Okay, the second funding here, this is a Science and Technology Research Grant. So usually they will dedicate about 10 to 15 research grants, and each can be up to 60,000 each. Okay, so this is general statement from the MTSF website. But when we do a simple analysis according to their website, jarang juga lah saya jumpa grant, orang-orang yang dapat grant sampai 60k ni. Usually the price limit will be around, not limit, the price range will be about 25, less than 25. That's what I used to see from their website. Okay, because they publish the recipients, whoever got the funding, their name, the title of their research grant, and also I think the amount, all will be published in their website. Okay, and then the third one is the Science Education Award. So this was also another privilege for me to see the recipients during the award function, where Science Education Award. So that means they will delegate like a 10 to 15 prizes, this one, and it can in the range of 2,000 to 10,000 each. Okay, something different in this C, or the Science Education Award, is it is not a proposal base. It is like a prototype base. That means if you have some prototype that you have used in the classrooms to make some improvisation in terms of your education, in terms of your teaching aid and so on, you can actually send your participation here as well. Okay, because not usually, the time that I went and see, there were many teachers, almost all of them were teachers. If I'm not mistaken, almost all of them were teachers. But there were records of university lecturers also got awarded this science education award. So this is something like a prototype. If you have some product and so on, you can send the application. If you're shortlisted, you'll be called for an interview, and then you maybe have to demo your prototype on how it works and so on. Okay, but this is something that I got to know from the recipient, because during the award function, yang duduk sebelah saya semua ni adalah cikgu. So saya pun tanyalah macam mana award yang Science Education Award dan sebagainya. So that is not for a proposal. That is not a money that will be given for you to do a research after that. This will be an award or a prize money, the true prize money that will be just given to you and also your team members, something like that. But the STRG, the second one, is different. This is a typical research grant proposal. Okay, and the theme should be based on the science and technology, where once we get the funding, we have to conduct the research experiments in the lab or whatever, the scale that we have proposed, and then we need to submit the reports and so on, the usual one. Okay, so the next one. So for today, I will be just focusing on the Mtsf, which is STRG, because this is the funding that our team actually got. Okay, now the general guideline wise, this is basically for energetic and creative young Malaysian researchers. Maybe what they mean is like someone aged below 40. Okay, so the main applicant must be below 40 so that they can apply this funding. Okay, but if you are not 40, if you are more than 40, still no worries. You can ask your students, if let's say you have supervision, that means your postgraduate students, you can ask them to apply this funding. Okay, like in my case, this funding, the main applicant is not myself. My master student was the main applicant. And then I was the co-researcher in the overall application. So that's how we got it in the last year, 2024 cycle. Okay. And then the third one is engaged in a basic fundamental scientific research field at the research facility in Malaysia, followed by residing in Malaysia. So what they're trying to mean over here is you cannot be an independent researcher. For example, okay, saya suka-suka buat research lah, so saya nak try funding. There are some funding like that as well, okay? But this funding is not like that. You must be properly placed in a research facility. As long as there's a research facility area and then you have your superiors, then it is fine, because for this funding, you need to get the endorsement. You need to get the endorsement from your superior, all right? Then only you can submit the proposal and so on. Okay, and the next one is individual or group effort. So because for this MTSF STRG funding, you can apply just yourself as a main applicant, provided you are within a research facility. Or you can also apply like us, like myself. I applied with one of my co-researchers as well, but then the main applicant was my master student. So, so that is called a group effort, okay? In terms of topics, they don't have a very strict guideline on the topics, but they got clearly state excludes clinical medicine and mathematics, okay? So if your field of research falls within this category, probably it's not eligible to apply for this MTSF funding. Apart from that, almost any science and technology field might be okay. But later we will show. I will also show you how we can do a short analysis based on the titles. Okay, later I'll show you that. Okay, and then the application deadline is 31st May. Last time, that means like many years ago, I think maybe during my PhD time, I think we need to post or we need to send the documents. But nowadays, things has been made easy. The application process is totally online. I think few years back, we still need to email our application forms to them. But then start from 2 or 3 years back, I think after the COVID, they have dedicated the website. So you just need to fill in some details, very, very little details, not so extensive also. Just need to fill in a very few details there based on your documents, your proposal, and then you can submit your proposal directly. And one of the good thing is this grant is actually open every year. Every year they open, and every year their cutoff date is 31st May. But don't wait until the last minute, because one of the important criteria is to get the endorsement. Okay, so you need to get the endorsement before you submit your application proposal. Okay, and then in terms of project duration, 12 months, and they also have a code there in the proposal. The results are written up for publication in ISI journals. Okay, so ISI means basically Web of Science Index journal, which is from Q1 to Q4. I believe that's what they mean, because nowadays we don't really use the term ISI. But then ISI is a classical term where now it has been converted into the Web of Science Q1 until Q4, excluding the ESEI. Okay, so I think that's what it has been meant by the ISI journal. So they have this guideline inside the proposal. Okay, so these are the general guidelines that one need to follow. Okay, now second part, let's look into the proposal format. I didn't give my proposal. I mean, in the slide presentation, I didn't put the details of my proposal here, but I will explain about what we have applied for, because our project is still ongoing. So that's why I didn't put so much of details about the proposal here. Okay, what I can share here is the summation, the final summation proposal must be in PDF format, and it should be endorsed. So this is the very first page that you can see, the one that we submitted for the last year application. So at the top here, top corner here, make sure to write the date, the year. Like this year is going to be 2025. And then here you need to check with the RMC of your university. If let's say you're from UiTM, then you can easily contact our RMC. Okay, and our RMC also is very efficient. Even for this year also, I'm submitting one proposal. So I sent the proposal to RMC on last Thursday, and Friday I got the endorsement ready. Cuma saya yang belum hantar lagi secara online. Maybe today I'll submit the proposal. Okay, so yeah, here for UiTM, what you have to do is you can fill up the university name, UiTM, University Technology Mara, and then you can put our director of RMC, Professor Dr. Nur Azurah Mohamad, and then you can just fill up the RMC address, their telephone number, fax, and then the email. And the last part here, you have to put the main applicant name. So this proposal, as I told you, was applied under my master student's name. So we got put his name over here as the main applicant, and he is a registered student in UiTM. So that's why we can proceed. And another criteria here is 20 pages max. So please make sure the PDF file that you have compiled with all your valuable proposal, right? And also CVs of co-researchers, just try to make sure it does not exceed 20 pages, because that is the limitation. Usually when it comes to a proposal, when they give certain guidelines, better to follow that. Okay, because we don't want a technical knockup. That is the main reason. Okay, all right, so let's move on. So this is the second page. The second page itself, you need to fill in the details of the main researcher here. So, and also photo, and they got put here compulsory, must provide a photo. And you can just fill in whatever details that they have asked. Position. Also, you need to declare, if let's say the applicant is like a lecturer, like myself, then I will declare myself as a lecturer. But if let's say my student, then I will ask them to declare as a PhD or master student, and also need to give their home address, all these details. Okay, and the main applicant need to sign, and the date must be filled. Okay. So here I got put one of the tips maybe. Even postgraduates can apply, and this is highly encouraged. Later I will show you. There are many things later. Okay, I'm sorry, but I think it's probably much easier for me to show you and explain. Okay, now we're just going through the slides. So let's go through the slides first. So the postgraduates is highly encouraged, because like during my time, in fact, I think, if I'm not mistaken, all the recipients for the Mtsf, this STRG funding, were postgraduate students. And this is my student. So he is the main applicant, Muhammad Zahir Khan bin Muhammad Ali. So he was one of the winners for the Mtsf, and I was just a co-researcher with them, right? Okay, next one is about the particulars of co-researchers. So here we can propose maximum 2 researchers. If let's say a master student, probably the master student might have like 2 to 3 supervisors, right? You can't include all of them. If let's say PhD, you might have up to like 3 supervisors. So you still can't include all of them. You have to select 1 or 2 supervisors, and then you can include them. That's what happened for my master student. I was the co-researcher number 1, and then I got another co-researcher from UM during the application process. But But it doesn't matter, because if, let's say, you got the funding, when you register, you can include whoever contributed for the overall research idea and also the progress of the research. Okay, but for the application procedure wise, Sharadam, only 2 researchers are allowed. Okay. Then the following part is the title of the research, and they got give some idea lah. So this is the way they got write up. The project must be written up for the ISI publication within that time period. They got written up for publication. So I'm not sure it should be published or not, because our project is still ongoing and we are still collecting data. So I don't have any idea whether it should be published or not, but it's good to publish our results, right? And they also got give guideline maximum 25 words. Okay. So when we talk about titles, it's always good to, we check past recipients' titles, and then we do some analysis by ourselves, and then we can come up with some catchy titles. So this is something like you can predict, okay, what could be the way. I mean, if you are first timer, then go ahead with whatever idea that you have, but you have tried many times and then the results was not so positive, then this could be one of the way to analyze actually where are we missing. Because when we talk about research proposal, title is the first thing that will catch the examiner's eye. So we need to be meticulous about how we write our title and also how we are going to emphasize. So emphasize comes in the second part here, which is the purpose of research. So when we look into this statement here, specify objectives and statement of hypothesis in about 300 to 400 words. So you still have a lot of room to flex out here, because I'm sure all of us are familiar with writing FRGS proposal, right? That is like you need to summarize the 2 years or 3 years project within 300 words. But here you got a proposal, like they allow you to go up to 400, okay? So which is good enough, because remember, the project that you're proposing should be able to complete within a year. So you cannot promise so many things as well, because when the examiner look at the proposal, I'm sure they can understand this is like doable within a year or not. Okay, so in our proposal, what we have highlighted here is the problem statement. Okay, the first part we have highlighted what is the problem that we wanted to study and what are the available solution, and then some novelty of this proposed work, some methodology, and also some expected outcome, how it's going to contribute overall. So this is something like the executive summary of FRG's proposal. In fact, since the main applicant was my student, so you have to remember for this MTSF funding, if you are shortlisted, there will be an interview. And the interview, I think, will be somewhere in September, okay, face-to-face interview. You have to go. So one of the questions that was shot to him was the comparison. What about the available solution for our research? And why we still proposing, a new solution for the existing problem? Okay, so that was the main question that was asked during a session. I think only that question mainly, okay, nothing else. So these are the information. So this part here, it totally depends on your research idea, your research framework. Okay, in our case, we actually focused more on I'm working on electrochemical sensors. Okay, and we were targeting byproduct, or what do you call that? A byproduct during the palm oil processing, because we know that palm oil. Yes, doctor.
No, you can continue.
Okay. Right. So when we process these oil palms, right, at the higher processing temperature, so it will release some toxic compounds. So since we are one of the main distributor for the oil palm, and then we have this issue, the existing solution is not really promising enough. It's not fast enough. Okay, and also when we do some bibliometric analysis, the sensors for this to detect this toxic compound also is not many. So far, I think I can count like electrochemical sensor, maybe got published like 9 or 10 projects only. Okay, so since the research gap is there, and also that is very relevant for Malaysia because we are talking about oil palm. All right. So these are the things, like, that is about my project. So when we talk about your project, you have to think in that angle. How it can be any simple project, okay, no need to be a groundbreaking discovery or anything. It can be very simple, but the way that you write, the way that you wanted to convince people, saying that this is need to be addressed, that matters. Okay, right. So that is about the purpose of research. Okay, next part is about desired amount of research grant. So here you can put whatever value, but remember the shilling is 60,000, and also you can check yourself in the website what is the usual money that recipients get. So I can tell you that is approximately less than 25K. So it depends on your project, and also depends on the need of your project as well. So I don't dare to say, okay, don't put more than 25 lakh. Okay, I don't dare to say that, but we just put simple, because we just wanted to finish up this project within a year. So we just quoted like 10K only. So we got 10,000, the amount that we have put in the proposal. Okay, all right. Next one, schedule for usage of grant. So this one, actually the money will be dispersed by December. I think the money will be dispersed into our universities. But then for them, I think the starting period is actually January 2026 until December 2026. So what you can put over here is suggested date. You can put the starting date from January 2026, because you're going to apply for the Mtsf 2025 funding. Okay. So next part is about outline of research plan. So this is quite tedious, because I have tried many ways, many methods, because I have been applying for quite some time the MTSF. Only last year managed to secure this funding. So I have changed. Each time I apply, I change the style that I put my details into the outline of research plan. So this is the one that I'm sharing here. So this is the outline that I have put, actually, where outline of the research methodology. That means research plan. I mean, last time I also got put literature review. I got put many analysis, but never got the funding. This time we made it very simple. We just put the outline of the research methodology, just outline only. Okay, but each outline we try to explain as much as possible without overwhelming. That means you don't show that, okay, this is like not possible within a few months of time. We need like 6-7 months just for one method, or for one maybe one objective or something like that. Then, because that's why I put over here. However, make sure that the proposed research activities are achievable within 12 months. Okay, and also another thing that you can highlight, for example, you got step 1, step 2, right? Step 1, you can also add, for example, it will be supervised or it will be done by whom? Because you got main applicant, maybe you will have 2 co-researchers, 3 people, right? So you can be more clearer here. You can be more meticulous. You can let them know, okay, so the step 1, who will be doing? Step 2, who will be doing? So it may give the impression to the examiners like, okay, there is a mutual teamwork, right? So that kind of points are important. And also you can include some tables and figures if necessary, okay, to flourish this part, because this is like overall research plan. And then the most important thing is, please provide a Gantt chart, because I don't really find any place suitable to put my Gantt chart within the proposal. Only here, since this one I talked about the method, so I got placed the Gantt chart at this section, outline of research plan. Okay, so by giving the Gantt chart, right, you have research activities, so they also will able to capture, okay, this is possible or not within 12 months. Okay, so that is important. Next part is proposed use of research grant. Okay, so if you realize, so the item here on the left hand side is something that already there. We just need to fill up the amount that we wish to apply for. So cost of equipment, okay. Maybe there might be a question for first timers. What are the things that can be covered by this funding? Cost of equipment, consumables, other expenditures. Okay, other expenditures you need to detail out. Which you feel like does not belongs to the equipment and consumable, can be put under the other expenditure. But they got put over here, other expenditure should not include the salary of research assistants or travel expenses for attending conference seminars. So basically, this funding does not provide a salary for the GRA or RA, and they do not support conference fees. They do not support the travel. All this cannot. Okay, but then when we do, like myself, when we do a material research, so I need to use some screen printed electrodes. So I put these electrodes as the equipment, and then obviously some chemicals over here. And what I've put under the other is the characterizations. Okay, because once we develop a certain material, so we wanted to send out for characterizations. So that's what I have put over here under the other expenditures. So it depends on your research framework and how you're going to plan, but make sure you give a detailed breakdown which is easy to understand, and also got details. Don't just lump sum. You put, like, for example, aniline, 3-MCPD, nitric acid, methanol, without any details here, and then you put lump sum. Okay, this is like 5,500. So that one might not be outstanding in my opinion. Why? We have to understand this funding. I forgot already. Maybe about. Sorry, I really forgot the number already now, because they got mentioned. How many people have applied for this STRG, which is under the Mtsf? Few hundreds also. Okay, few hundreds. So when so many applications comes in, they want to filter out. They are just going to give the funding. Say, for example, 500 people applied, but maybe they just want to give funding to the 10 people. How many percentage is that? So your proposal need to be simple, achievable within 12 months, and make it neat and clear, so that people, when they just screen through your proposal, they will like, okay, I can still see. Otherwise, if let's see the proposal, the format, everything is clumsy. Kalau saya sendiri jadi grant examiner pun, kadang-kadang kita tak tertarik lah untuk membaca sangat. Okay, so that's why we make the life of examiners easy. Okay, so that they can easily capture the points. So that is my idea here. Okay, next part is about, please state briefly your past research experience and achievement. So this one you can use tables actually. So if you yourself is the main applicant, and then you are a lecturer, so I'm sure you have secured some funding previously, and also you might have some independent research, right? So you can put them in the table, okay, or you can put as a mind map. But if let's say the main researcher is the student, they might not have a strong research background. If let's say master student, because they just started, they're just about to start. So in our case, what we did is I asked my student to just attach a CV. That's all. Okay, nothing. Just attach the CV, because here briefly, please state briefly your past research experience and achievements. This one, the credit of the main applicant, not the co-researchers. Okay, so here, because co-researchers, there is another place that you can put. Here, I just asked my student to put his CV. Simple as that. Okay, but if the student got experience in doing FYP research during the degree time and got published paper, try to highlight all those stuffs. And if let's say the main applicant is a PhD student, maybe got experience during the masters, got published paper, put it as well. Okay, try to emphasize that the main applicant has some research experience. Okay, so that would be beneficial over here. All right, next part, please state the current status of related research. That means your research, your proposed research work in Malaysia and abroad. Please state concretely unique features of your research plan. So here I just have a simple tips that I can share with you. So I think I'll just explain to you as well about the project that we have proposed, and we got the funding, which is on the electrochemical detection of a contaminant in the oil palm industry. So this ideology might differ according to each applicants. Okay, some might wanted to focus on a very fundamental research. Ours is based on applied research. Some maybe wanted to address some fundamental issue, but fundamental also, there might be a problem. That problem is crucial for Malaysian development, because under the MUSTI, we got the ASM, Academic Science Malaysia, and so on. If you look at their blueprints, you can actually find many ideas. Okay, even though we are working on a fundamental things, so probably you can map with their need. So you can try to make it more relevant. So here, the tips that I've shared over here is you can emphasize, you can write 3 paragraphs. Okay, no need to write so much also. Why? Because based on my experience, I have written this part alone like 2-3 pages last time, but never got the funding. This time, I think our proposal, not even a page. I think this section number 4. Okay, it's not even a page. Very little, because we just emphasize on the main issue. So, what is the current status of your proposed research in Malaysia? So when we look into the bibliometric analysis, we did a bibliometric analysis. So this is the one. The tips here is try to search in Scopus and get the bibliometric data and find the relevant topic within the Malaysian context. So in this case, if I'm not mistaken, there are co-authors, like just now I got mentioned, right? Maybe there are 9 to 10 papers which focus on the sensor that we have proposed. But out of the 9 or 10 papers, maybe 2 papers from Indonesia, and there are co-authors from Malaysia, but there is no corresponding papers from Malaysia on this topic. Okay, so that gives the weightage for us. And then do the above study. Of course, people got done that in Malaysia with using different mechanism, not electrochemical sensing. So that's what we have emphasized here. And then you do the same thing, you first search within Malaysia how this problem has been addressed, and the second paragraph you probably can focus how this has been addressed among the neighboring country. Okay, they said abroad is very broad as well, right? So you can just focus within Indonesia, Thailand, and Singapore. That is our neighboring country. So you can just focus, or maybe you can focus within the ASEAN region. Okay, it depends on how you're going to put it there. Okay, when we talk about oil palm, we mainly talked about Malaysia and Indonesia, because Indonesia is the largest distributor for the oil palm, followed by Malaysia. Okay, so this was our not competitor, but then how this project going to significantly affect our neighboring countries as well. Okay, and then the last one, the third paragraph, just give a brief conclusion and try to emphasize how your proposed work can benefit Malaysian setting. That is important. Okay. Why I got put this one here? The prize was given by our MUSTI minister, right? So when I was receiving the prize, he asked me, because our material we use a chitosan. So he got asked, this chitosan, you guys are extracting yourself, or just buying a commercial product? So he asked that question. And then after the award ceremony, we have to go and stand near our booth, and then he will be just walking, and then we can explain to him about our project, about the project, just few minutes, so he got asked me, the minister asked me, is it close to application? Is it close to prototype that you can go and use it in the field? I said, we are working on that, because our sensor is it's a portable sensor. So we are working on that. So based on this conversation, what I can see is they are expecting something that can benefit Malaysia as overall. So if, let's say, that's why I'm saying your research can be any form, any basic, it can be applied, but the way that we write, whatever it is, you write it in a way that it shows the importance towards Malaysia. That is important. Okay. And then number 5 here, please state whether you have received, if you have received this funding, state whether you have received any grant subsidy during the past year. So if, let's say, this particular research, the research that you're the proposal that you are applying, you got any other funding, you can disclose here. Or if you got any other funding also, you can disclose here. Okay, so just some declaration only here. Okay, so this is the part that I told you, biodata of a researcher, co-researcher, and supervisors. So here, nothing much. I would say just provide 1 page of brief CV of the co-researchers, or maybe you can go up to 2 pages, because you have to always remember the maximum allowed page numbers for the for the whole proposal is 20. So if you have given more pages at the front part, then you have to play around with the numbers here. Okay, so here the ideal one is like 1 to 2 pages. Here you got say maximum 4 additional pages for each. Tapi takkan kita nak buat 4 page seorang nanti 12 muka surat, ni sahaja proposal 8 muka surat aja kan. So we try to minimize here lah. Okay, we try to minimize the biodata. We try to compress, condense it, and then make it impactful within a page. Okay, so and then we can attach this as well. And then they got us the publications, our previous publication. The copies are not required, but they got give the format, how you're going to write the publication lah. So you have to write it author names, year, title of publication, title of journal, volume number, and page number. That is sufficient enough. But authors, we might have a few authors, right? Usually in the publication, if let's say there are 3 authors, if let's say my name appears at the third name, then I will just bold my name there. Okay. So another tips here, when the student become the main applicant, and if let's say the student is the first timer who is like, getting into the research field and so on, the student might not have publication. Okay. So if let's say the main applicant do not have any publication and you're going to make it empty, that might be a red flag. So what I can tell you is you got co-researchers, you got co-supervisors, supervisor and co-supervisors, right? You can adapt, you can take their publication and then put it over here as well. Okay, that's what we have done. Okay, so I have put my publications into this part because the main applicant is my student, but then he haven't got the publication yet, so I got put my previous publication. But the papers that I have selected and put here is like kind of related to the material. Of course, the analyte, this is the first time we are doing the palm oil analyte, but then the material we have done a previous research, and also the sensors we have previous publication. So whichever we feel like supporting towards the this proposal, we put it there. Okay, so that is the suggestion for this part here. So here also they got put the last part, allowed to submit maximum 20 pages. Okay, right. So okay, probably we'll take the questions later, right? Okay, so this is the past recipient. So let me Dr. Ismarani, can you see my slide? I mean, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see.
Okay. So this is the, if anyone cannot see anything, just let me know. Okay. So this is the main website. You can simply type in the Google Mtsf, then you will get to, you will end up at this page. So Mtsf program, so this is the one that I told you. When you click the Mtsf program, there is a Science and Technology Award, Science and Technology Research Grant, Science Education Award. So whichever that you feel like you're interested, you can apply. In fact, if you want to apply for all 3 also, I'm not sure can or not, because I feel like I've never seen any statement saying that you can't apply for more than one. But when you go for this one category, as a main applicant, you should apply just one. Okay, but then probably you can also apply for the Science Education Award as well while applying for the STRG. I'm not sure. You can check. Okay, as long as there is no any statement black and white. Tak payah tanya pun, kalau nak rasa apply je. Okay, right. So now, for example, if you go into this, okay, for this one, the Outstanding Malaysian Scientist Award. So this one, if you see here, I don't see any age limit here. Okay. In fact, this is the first one. If you go and click the past recipients, you can see. So last year, Professor Emeritus got this, Dr. Muhammad Azlan got this award, just one person. If let's say 2023, okay, a prof, and also got co-winners. Okay, so got co-winners as well. Okay, so it's like a way, and also like depends on the contribution, I guess, because I've never applied this, so I don't dare to comment anything on this, how it works and so on. Okay, but you can check their field of research, institution, and so on. Okay, now let's go to this science and technology research grant. Okay, so here you can see there is a age limit 40, as I mentioned just now. Okay. All right, so and then also there are some guidelines. So your file, even your file, your final proposal PDF must be labeled something like this: STRG, your name, your university, and then dash the current year 2025. Okay, so you also can read. So I already condense whatever information that can be found from this page, already condensed and put it in the slide just now, and already explained. So information guideline, if you want to read further on this funding, if you're a first timer, it's better for you to read, okay, in detail. So here you can see, let me zoom a bit. There are 3 stages. So first stage is the shortlisting, and then second stage is the interview. After the interview only, there will be a announcement on the there will be announcement by September every year. Okay, and the prize giving ceremony will be somewhere in November to December. Yeah, November and December. Okay, so that's it here. Okay, so this is the online submission. Sorry, this is the application form, which is the doc file. So you can just click, and then you can just click, you can open, you can start to fill up already. All right, so this is where you need to find the application form. So they got a dedicated form, better follow that form. And then this is the online submission platform. So you click that. It's loading, let's wait for a while. Okay, so whatever that you have got put in the first 2 pages, sorry, second and the third page, the details of the main applicant, the IC number, the title, okay, all this you need to fill in, and then particulars of recommending university. That means, okay, here you got, they already put all the university name. If you don't find your university name, probably you can just click others here. Right, so if you are from UiTM, so you can put UiTM, and then you need to copy paste that basically the address, and also our RMC director name, email, office numbers, all these particulars of research as well, like what is the title, what is the total amount that you apply, how much you're asking for the equipment, each one of this breakdown you have to put, and then only you upload the file. Okay, before you upload the file, please take note here, because it's very small down here, particulars of group members, maximum two members. So if let's say here you can see none. So if let's say you got 1, you have to select 1. Then you can see, you just need to enter their name, IC number, university, and email. And also it can go up to 2 members. So you just need to submit, include their details here. Okay, so that's the thing. Going back to slide. Okay, so let me show you. This is the one that I told you just now. Later, right? Past recipients. Okay, so when we look into these past recipients, this is for the STRG. STRG. So you can see last year there were 9. Only 9 got this funding. Okay, so the number 9th was our proposal. I think this is the lowest that we have quoted, which is just 10,000. So this is my title: electrochemical fabrication of conducting polymer biopolymer composite based on a MIP. On a, I told you about portable sensor, right? So screen printed electrode for the detection of 3 MCPD. So this is the palm oil contaminant, and this is the main applicant name, my student, and myself as a co-researcher. But what happened during the award function, my student couldn't make it, but they will send the invitation. The Mtsf committee, they will send the invitation up to our vice chancellor. The invitation actually was sent to vice chancellor of UiTM, but usually we will have a representative. So we got representative from RMC who attend the event. Okay, so and also I got attend with my co-researcher, Professor Wan Jeffrey from right? So yeah, so this is the one. And the thing that I would like to highlight here, a few things lah. If you are as I mentioned just now, this is pecutan terakhir, right? So sekarang kita nak duduk buat banyak analisis mungkin susah juga, okay? So but then you can just get some idea on how this whole thing works. And if you feel like every time my proposal getting rejected, what could be the reason? So you have to sit down and do the analysis. Okay, first let's look at the amount that people have got here. Okay, so this is like up to 20, this is a maximum lah for our year. 25,000 got got many. 5 of them got applied for 25,000 and they got it. Okay, and then the rest are lesser than that lah. Okay, including myself, just 10K. So this is 2024. 2023 maximum was 20,000. Okay, those who have got the funding. And then 2022, 25, only 1%, the rest all lesser. So based on this, you can just click until the other years and you can come out with your own judgment. What would be the right scale of funding that you can request from them? Okay, that is one thing. Okay, the funding, because I'm afraid if let's say I'm going to quote like up to 60,000, the maximum, I might not end up getting that as well. Okay, that is my perception. I might be wrong as well. Okay, I might be wrong. It depends on the relevance of the research, right? Okay, so yeah, but I usually try to go within that range. So this is the first thing that you can think of. Second thing, okay, in 2024, what we can see is the name of the main recipient. Just look at the names. All like a student name. Okay, because why I'm saying student, because they don't have the title yet, any title yet. Okay, so that means students, could be students. Why? Another factor is when you look at the name of the co-researchers, they got the title like doctor, professor, associate prof, and so on. So most likely they are the students. So I mean, this is just I'm making assumption, but the reality there is, yeah, they were students. Okay, because I met them in person. All of last year, all of them who got as the main applicant was a student. So